One of the big changes with cards is higher annual fees, but also more partner credits. The confusing part is that all of these credits work a bit differently and operate off different timers. Today we're looking at the 12 things you need to do right now with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. This ranges from eating out to hotel stays to maybe a basketball game. Big favor before we dive into everything though is to give this a thumbs up to help with the algorithm. If you know someone that might benefit, then share this with them. They might owe you a coffee. Chase operates off 5 key windows. The reason this matters is once the window closes, you're out of luck. It's use it or lose it. You have monthly, semi-annually, so January to June, and then July to December, account anniversary year, every 4 years, and then one time. Given how the credits are structured, June 30th and December 31st are the 2 key dates. For example, let's say it's December 21st right now. That means that you have 10 days left to use the July to December credit. Once it rolls over to the next year, that credit's gone. At that point, you have full access to the next set of January to June credits. This matters a lot for the first year and can help with that $7.95 annual fee, since you should have access to 3 of these semi-annual credits. Useful if you're test driving the card. Okay, let's run through the checklist and key reminders. First off, a lot of these are statement credits. That means that you need to spend on the card and you get a credit on your next statement. Most of these will also require activation, so logging in and pressing a button to agree. Also, a lot of these are tied to your cards existing. If you cancel or downgrade, even if the perk is set to keep running, expect to lose access. Also, if you do want the Notion checklist template, I'll put a link down below and email it to you. The rest of the video will be more detailed and in the weeds. The first batch are the one-time activations. Apple subscription runs through June 22nd, 2027, and IHG One Rewards Platinum Elite status runs through December 31st, 2027. Priority Pass has no set end date. I would do these first just to get them out of the way. Also because they're probably going to apply to more people. The next set are the monthly ones, so Lyft credit runs through September 30th, 2027, Peloton membership and DoorDash promos go until December 31st, 2027. Dash Pass membership is at least 12 months when you activate by December 31st, 2027. A lot of people get angry with these credits. The point isn't to use all of them, it's to get to a reasonable effective number. They're giving you this much in credits, but the annual fee might only be this much. If you're trying to get the break even, the semi-annual set of credits are pretty key. Here you have StubHub and Viagogo, dining, and the Edit hotel credits. You generally need to get value from at least one of these, and ideally 2. These are also the more quantifiable credits, so bigger levers. The travel credit is per card member year and works exactly like it did in the past, so should be pretty easy. Even some everyday charges might trigger the credit. The last one for normal people is Global Entry, TSA PreCheck, or Nexus to cover the fee. Technically there is one more set, but these are only relevant for people that are spending $75K per year. There's definitely a lot of numbers flying around. If you want to run the numbers for your situation and how you value different credits and perks, for example maybe DoorDash and Peloton down to 0, we do have a calculator on our website. I'll link to it down below, but like all cards, it should pop up if you Google card name worth it AskSebby. Credit cards are tools, find the one that makes sense for your situation. Maybe that's cash back or maybe it's premium travel before settling down. On that note, if you want to learn more about cards and you want to support the channel, we have links on the website AskSebby.com and also down below in the description box. Make sure the links are competitive, that the cards make sense for you, but otherwise it's a huge way to support the channel, so thank you in advance. Okay, let's be a bit more surgical. How do we activate these? So log into your account, scroll to your cards, and press the meatball menu for it, and then press into card benefits. Also, yes, it really is called a meatball menu. From there, you can activate all these perks and basically go down the list. Starting with IHG One Reward status, it's going to be under travel. I'm going to use Marriott as a proxy since I am still waiting for the benefits to pop up on my end. But if you think about product design, you're going to replicate flows for simplicity. It should be the same. The status benefits should be listed like the other perks. I'll explain it and what you get, but for IHG, it's not a 3-month teaser status and there's no stay requirement. It basically just runs until December 31st, 2027, and maybe longer if it gets renewed. Pressing through, you log into your account and make one if you don't have it. Otherwise, you're set and good to go. If you're like me and you already have an IHG card with Platinum Elite status, then you can skip this one. Next up is Priority Pass. They might move stuff around, but it should be under travel and membership perks. If it's not activated, then go ahead and activate it. I'd also recommend adding your digital card. So go to your Chase app and then add your mobile wallet and it should make the flow a lot easier. But yeah, activate this perk because it can take time. I've seen way too many front desk people get yelled at for no reason. Not a bad perk to have, especially if your home airport has a Chase Sapphire lounge. Priority Pass is a bit hit or miss in the US, but a lot better abroad. Next up is the Apple subscription. I would turn these on sooner rather than later since it's only currently through June 22nd, 2027, and maybe it doesn't get renewed. Also just because it's an easy perk to get value from. For most perks, I would default to activating if you see a button going through the flow. Even if you don't use this yourself, consider giving it to player 2. Or if you have teenage or adult kids, they might actually be paying for these already. Personally, I haven't really been an Apple TV person, so let me know what shows to watch and catch up on. Heading to the monthly credits, let's start with Lyft. You pretty much just add the card to your app and use the card to pay and it's good to go. Reminder that it does expire monthly, so use it or lose it. A big catch to watch for is that the $10 ride credit applies to all rideshare rides except Wait and Save. Also, the credit can't be used on bike or scooter rides. So if you do like biking, the credit doesn't help here. It's still one of the easier credits to use though, especially if you're in a city. Speaking of biking, next up is the Peloton membership credit. Activation's required and it's monthly. Even if you don't have one of their bikes, it can still be useful. So yes, some of their memberships do require their equipment, but a lot of them don't, and it's more about getting access to the fitness content library. A pretty common strategy is to get a more affordable bike and then run their app. They also have a lot of other fitness classes, so you can choose from a lot of different workouts to use at home or at the gym. This ranges from strength training to yoga to cardio, so not necessarily just spin only. It depends on you and if you already have a routine in place, but it might make sense if you want to mix it up. Moving on, we have the DoorDash promos. This is another controversial one since a lot of people don't like DoorDash. I think it does depend on why you don't like it though. If you don't like eating out and prefer to cook instead, then I'd look into DashMart options to get groceries or other household essentials. It's basically their convenience store. On the delivery end, you can do DoorDash pickup to avoid having to go through a dasher and pick it up yourself. Note that some restaurants do charge a markup for these services, so I'd shop around. Or just eat the extra, let's say 10%. If you use DoorDash, then Dash Pass is awesome. Basically up to $120 in value if you'd otherwise pay for it anyways. You get $0 delivery fees, reduced service charges, and also 5% back in credits on pickup orders. Heading to the semi-annual credits, we have StubHub and Viagogo. What you want to do is activate it and keep an eye out on events or concerts that you're interested in. If you don't go out yourself, give it to player 2 or someone else in your family. On my end, it's an excuse to go to more basketball games, and even for the Warriors, depending on the team they're facing, tickets aren't bad at all. For example, for the Jazz, it's about $67 for nosebleeds. Nosebleeds at Chase Center aren't bad though. If you want to see a good team like the Thunder, it might be twice the price, so $132. This includes all fees, so might actually do this one. I'd probably opt for $165 for the top or $167 for the bottom, but yeah, not bad at all. If you're not into sports, there's music and stage stuff. Next up is the dining credit. Note that this is for Sapphire Reserve exclusive table restaurants. So they do have a page for this with restaurants that work. Note that you don't need to make a reservation to use the credit. As long as you go to the restaurant and pay off the card, you're fine. If you live in a major city, you should be fine. If you're a food person, it's been an interesting 6 months. A lot of the nicer restaurants have been shifting to open table. If you're a fancy diner, you're probably happy with this credit. There are still affordable options, so double check. The hotel credit is similar where you need to check for options. Also note that there is a 2-night minimum, so a bit different from competing cards. Your best bets are Vegas, but even if you are stacking cards, you still have an out-of-pocket given the minimum. Another option is cheaper major US cities like Portland. For example, the Kimpton here is $162 per night before taxes and fees, so the credit helps more here. Unlike other programs, international is a bit tougher. For example, in Hong Kong, you have the Upper House, but other ones like the Conrad don't count despite it being an option for competing platforms. I think this one is a bit tougher than you might think, and I keep an eye out for good deals. In contrast, the travel credit is super easy. It's anything that codes as travel. This could be flights or hotels. It also could be rideshare and sometimes even tolls. It is card member year, but for most people, you're going to use it organically. Moving to every 4 years, we have Global Entry, TSA PreCheck, and Nexus. It depends on you here. For most people, I'd recommend Global Entry or Nexus. The main reason being that Global Entry includes TSA PreCheck benefits, so you're getting the best of both worlds. Nexus is arguably the same idea, so with it, you do get Global Entry perks. In fact, it's pretty much half the process for Nexus. The reason not to go for it is the other half. So Global Entry requires 1 interview with the US, Nexus requires 2, 1 in the US and 1 with Canada. If you live in Seattle, then that's easy. If on the other hand, you live in, let's say, Houston, and you don't regularly go to Canada, then probably not worth the effort. The main draw of Nexus is a fast lane into Canada, so more useful for frequent travelers anyways. I guess probably also great for Detroit, Michigan, Buffalo, and upstate New York. Okay, last batch are the ones you get for hitting 75k in spend in a calendar year. For status, activate it and you have it for the rest of the year earned and the following year. Credits you only get one time and you have the rest of the year and the following year to use it. Even if I fully use the credit this year, I don't get a credit next year unless I hit that target again. If you hit this target organically, then great, but I don't think I would chase it. The statuses are fine, but nothing too crazy. For example, A-list is their entry level, bottom rung status. You can generally replicate these with their airline cards. For IHG One Reward status, you can get this with one of their cards, and it's actually a keeper card. So I have it, it's solid. Even then, it's not the craziest. So complimentary upgrades, which are nice, and welcome gifts here are only drinks and snacks most of the time. The one exception here seems to be Asia. For example, when we were at the region Taipei, we got free breakfast, and it was probably the best breakfast we had on that trip. There's non-zero value, but you can get it by holding other cards. The credits here are fine, but basically toppings on an ice cream sundae. Lots going on here. Again, if you want to run the numbers for your situation, that way you're not guessing, link below and should pop up with CSR worth it AskSebby. Again, if you want to learn more about cards, we have links on the website AskSebby.com and also down below in the description box. And if you're curious, all legal affiliate disclosures can also be found below in the description box. If you made it to this point, leave a basketball emoji in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and also respond. 3 questions: which benefits do you plan to use? Number 2, where do you plan to stay for the hotel credit? And number 3, what's your use case for StubHub or Viagogo? A bit of me wants to do a group basketball night, but maybe that's a bit too weird. Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favorite, thumbs up, share this, but otherwise hope you liked it. See you next time.